afternoon and welcome to another episode of Growing for Good with Funding for Good. Today we are on my very hot front porch in North Carolina enjoying the August summer heat, but I prefer the outside when I have to record because the light just looks better. So today I want to talk to you for just a second. We have been traveling a lot, teaching at conferences. We just got back from the Best Friends National Conference a few weeks ago, and I'm wearing a t-shirt that has Leo's silhouette on it that we sold out there, so we love that, and he's actually sleeping right at my feet right now. But I heard a lot of people talking about not knowing what their donors want as far as recognition or what their donors expect. We did a seminar on sharing impact in ways that generate income and interest. So basically we talk a little bit about what does a donor want to hear, what does a donor need to hear, what data should you be collecting, how should you present that to them, and how often. So we did a whole session on that, but what I did was send out an email to friends and family and asked, what do you want when you give to a nonprofit or a charity? What do you expect? What do you hope to get back? Or what have you gotten back in the past that has really impacted you or that you have appreciated? And I just wanted to share with you some real responses from people, because the one thing that I find that people don't do is ask their donors what they want. I used to work for a large nonprofit, and if a donor gave at a certain level, every year they were given a gift. And every year the CEO picked out what that gift was going to be. And more often than not, when I went and had a conversation with the donor, they would say to me, I don't need that. I really don't even want that. I'd rather you take the money you spent on that and use it on programs or projects. And it wasn't that they weren't nice gifts. It was that that wasn't the reason the donor was giving, and most of the donors that were giving at that high level didn't need those things anyway. It doesn't matter whether it's a leather portfolio or an engraved blanket or a personalized thermos. It doesn't really matter what it is. Most people that can give and do give at a certain level can buy those things if they want them, and more than likely they don't want them with your logo on them. So I encourage you, as you get to know your donors, as you grow your diversified fundraising streams, whether they are business donors or foundations or individuals, it doesn't really matter. Get to know them and learn what it is that they want in exchange, if anything, for their gift to you. We worked with a large car association for one nonprofit that I worked with, and they expected a plaque for each of their dealerships in exchange for their gift. And they made that very clear to us, so I didn't have to ask, I didn't have to wonder. That is what they wanted. So I went out every year and I spent $35 per dealership on a plaque, and I had what they wanted engraved on it as a thank you for their gift. And it was worth it because their gift was very large. But they didn't make me have to figure out what they wanted. They said, this is what we would like. Can you make it happen? Of course I said yes. So sometimes you'll work with people, foundations, businesses, corporate sponsors, whomever, that are very open about what it is they want and expect, and you should listen to them and give them what they want or expect within the realm of reason. But if they don't, ask them. Ask your board members. Ask your donors of all levels. What is it that you would like in exchange for supporting our organization? Is it knowledge? Do you want to know what we're doing and how we're doing it? Is it a tour of our facilities? Is it being included in information on our next capital campaign? Do you want to know the behind the scenes information? And if it is, at what levels should you think about making those options available to donors? Is it just a newsletter that they're interested in? And if so, make sure they're on that mailing list. Is it updates on a certain project? And if it is, make sure they're included in those updates. Is it a personal thank you call? You should be doing that anyway. But if that's what they want, make sure they get it and you don't have to go out and buy things for them. Is it to partner and collaborate and interact and socialize and have networking opportunities with other people at your organization? And if it is, then maybe you have a social event once a year and you invite certain donors at certain levels. We used to do that as well at some of the nonprofits that I worked at. But anyway, I want to read to you the responses that I got from just a few people because they're all very different. I only sent it out maybe to 10 people, and I'm only going to share with you 4 or 5. But this is, in their words, exactly what they said. And I'm going to read to you the question that I asked to them via email first. My question was, I'm looking for real answers from donors, not development staff. Please put your donor hat on and tell me what your organization could do that would impress you as far as donor recognition or donor thank yous for you. When I say your organization, I mean the organizations that they give to. What would make an impression and what types of things really make an impact on you? Now, these are the responses that I received. Direct contact and sharing their accomplishments mean a lot to me. A good annual report that is simple and concise. Also, asking me for feedback on a program or change that the group may be making in their organization. These things make me feel a part of the organization. All of those things seem pretty simple to do. The second one is someone that I know personally, obviously, and they say, you know, I think differently. It always hit me the wrong way when I gave my time to an organization and or money, and they turned around and gave me a gift that cost someone somewhere money. If you have money to spend on stuff for me, why do you need my money? I always prefer a simple thank you and promise that the funds will be used in the way they were intended. So A, it helps to know that your donor wants that level of communication, and B, it helps to know what they intend their dollars to support. If you're getting donations from people and you don't know why they're giving, I encourage you to start that conversation. Some of you were sitting out there saying, I have too many donors to do that with. If you have too many donors to get to know, that's a great problem to have. If you don't get to know them, you won't have as many donors in the future, or you will continuously have new donors, but you will not retain donors that have given to you in the past. Donor acquisition is much more expensive than donor retention. We're not talking about that today, but you can look up those numbers and those percentages online and see that I'm telling you the truth. And you really want to focus on building relationships with your current donors so you retain them. Now, here's another one. I love pictures with simple testimonials from the clients served. That's why I give to X organization. Even if I don't have big bucks, they inspire me to continue giving. Well, that's pretty easy. If you're working in an organization that works individually with clients or works with other organizations and you can tell stories, then that's what you need to be doing for this particular donor. And then the last one is, no, sorry, there's two more. Anything that is clearly personalized, so I know they thought about me. Personalized videos, thank you videos, they really move me. I have a playlist of those on my YouTube channel. So that's somebody who has given to various organizations that have said thank you personally in video. There's another option. The last one is, I once got a note with a picture of my husband and I at an event that we supported. It was really sweet and fun to get a picture that we had no idea was taken. It was definitely a nice touch. I do that when I work with nonprofits and when I work in a development department for events, for when we get a group of donors together. I send them in Christmas cards to say thank you. And I started doing that when I was 16 years old. I started my first business and I was teaching private tennis lessons. So every time I would have a group together, I would take my camera, my 35mm, I would take a roll of film, and I would take pictures of the kids playing, the pictures of the kids together. I would group them and take shots. And then every so often, I would just send a thank you letter to the parents to say, hey, just wanted to let you know the progress of your child, and this is what they're doing, and they've been having a great time, and I've been enjoying meeting them, blah, blah, blah. I got such great feedback from that as a teenager that I have done it for every type of business that I've had since then. I do it with clients. I did it when I was a development director. I encouraged my staff to do it, whether it was at a day camp or at a program, whether it was for a large nonprofit or a small nonprofit. It takes time, yes. It is more personal than emailing them a picture, yes. It is a little bit more costly than emailing a picture, yes. But it has a huge impact. When you have a picture already printed for you that you can put in an envelope, stick on your refrigerator, share with a spouse, whatever, it just has a different type of impact. It's great to email videos, it's great to email pictures, but a lot of times that tangible picture just makes a difference. For me personally, what I want to know is if I have supported an organization and I have given money for a particular cause, I want to know, A, was the goal achieved? Because obviously I'm typically not going to be able to support the whole thing myself. And B, what was done with the money? There have been too many times that I have contributed to a fundraising event when A, you don't know the results of the event necessarily at the event, so they're not announced there, but then there's no follow-up. There's no email, there's no phone call, there's no newsletter that gives an update of, this was our fundraising event, this is how much we were trying to raise, this is how much we raised. Sometimes I end up having to call nonprofits back and saying, hey, I contributed to an event you guys did a couple months ago and I haven't had a follow-up. Can you tell me if the event was successful? And typically they have the information, but having worked in a lot of nonprofits and doing special events, which are very labor intensive, I can tell you when the event is over, you're relieved it's over, and sometimes you don't really think about that follow-up, but you should already have a plan before the event of what the follow-up is going to be, how you're going to get that data and share it with those that participated. Even if you didn't reach your goal, you still need to share the information with the people that came, and it should be part of your plan. You need to have a communication for the people that gave as well as your general constituency. It doesn't all need to be the same mass email or the same blurb in your newsletter, because I want to know because I gave. Thank you for giving, and this is how much we raised. Above and beyond goal, or not quite at goal, but this is what we're going to do to close the gap, those types of things. I hope that some of the ideas that I shared with you today and that some of my friends and family shared have been helpful. I hope it makes you sit down a little bit and think about how you are, how you're recognizing your donors and why. And I hope it opens up conversations for you. I think it's very easy to sit down with someone and say, what would you prefer being given as a gift for your gift? And honestly, as a donor myself, I never anticipate anything. I want information, but I don't want you to spend money on anything for me. You know, the places that are like, give us this and we'll give you a t-shirt. I don't need the t-shirt. You know, I want to give you the money so you can use it. So unless those t-shirts are 100% donated and your postage is covered and all that sort of thing, I don't need you to mail me one. And I think a lot of people feel that way. I know there are studies out there, and there is data that shows that people give more when they get something in return, and I really think it depends on your donors, and I think it depends on your organization. So I encourage you to do some research on your own and find out in your field, is that accurate? So that's all I have. If you have something that you have experienced over the years that impacted you, that that an organization did based on a gift that you gave, I would love it if you would either share it on our Facebook page at Funding for Good, or share it in the comments here on this video, or send us an email at mandy@fundingforgood.org or info@fundingforgood.org, and let us share it with other people, because there's a lot of great ideas out there that a lot of people haven't thought of or didn't know were options, and I would love to make those available to some other people. So I hope you guys have a great week. We're working to record more vlogs, and we will be coming back to you in a week or two with another one. So be sure to join us, and I hope you have a great day. Keep growing for good.